Beatles, I think, was the first, well, the first band I ever saw was the Beatles. Had an impact on me when we were kids. Actually, the Farriss brothers, saw them in London in 1964 when we were little kids. And their music, obviously, you know, and songwriting in particular. Also because they really were responsible for the translation of, in many ways to me, of rock and roll with the singer-songwriter concept, as opposed to, you know, just being a rock and roller. They're also songwriting, and they were morphing things all the time, you know. So they were an important band. But other people too, I liked the kind of nonchalant craziness of the Rolling Stones, and you know, they had a certain panache, you know, and they still do. I also liked a lot of my dad's music as well. You know, he used to play a lot of records. He wasn't a musician, but he had a lot of records of his own, like Ray Charles and some sort of hootenanny, bluegrass stuff he used to listen to and stuff like. I'd say there's three of them in particular that I really like. I know I'm supposed to choose one, but I like our latest album, Switch, because it's a new beginning for us with JD, and you know, the excitement and speed with which we recorded that album was unbelievable. I mean, you know, I don't think we recorded an album like that that fast since our first album. So there was a spontaneity to the recording of that record, which is really hard to recreate. But also Kick, which came out, I think, in '87 or '88 or something. And then also Welcome to Wherever You Are, which came out in '92. They're probably my three favourite albums. I'd say the most rewarding experience on this tour so far has just been, yeah, the reaction from fans, and you know, they're really, so many people have come up to us and said, so great to see you guys back out touring and playing and writing music again, recording. And you know, they weren't sure at first about JD being a fit with us, and now they really love it, and that's been an overwhelming response from people, which, you know, thank God we have that. At the devil's party, there's no light from the sun. Yeah, there's a couple of them. I think Devil's Party would make a great video track, you know, soundtrack for a video, and I think God's Top 10 would be as well. I think Hungry would be good, and yeah. But I'm very pleased with Afterglow and Pretty Vegas. They came out fantastic, thanks to Scott Duncan. On you, Scott. Generally speaking, I like smaller shows so long as it's fairly cool physically inside the building. I don't like it when it's too hot. It's not so much how many people, I like it more when there's a little bit of space, you know, and you've got a nice stage to work, and it's kind of, you can also create, like, for example, in theatres, you know, you can create more of an atmosphere, and you know, I think the audience kind of digs that too, because theatres are good like that, because it's intimate enough for the audience to enjoy it, but it's professional enough for a band to present themselves, you know, in a way that they want to, and they want to sound. And well, I don't like screaming feedback, you know, from a microphone, especially, you know, that's often a lead singer thing. You know, they shove their microphone to a wedge, and your ear feels like someone shot an arrow through your head, you know. But there's also, I also really love, you know, listening to when INXS is playing all together in one big sort of groove, you know, or feel, or, you know, could be a, you know, a guitar riff, or you know, a vocal part that someone's doing, or a section of music, and it just really comes together at that moment in time, and Or you can tell the audience gets really excited about certain things that we're doing. That's really good too, because that gives you a kick as well, you know, because I don't always expect that. And then sometimes you get this great reaction from something you've done. And it just, you know, it's a very human thing. I mean, for INXS, we've had so many ups and downs in our career and in our personal lives. But as you know, in our career, yeah, I'd say that you know, there's been some really touching moments where we've been presented with awards for things, you know, and for being, you know, the most fabulous thing in the whatever world, or you know, and that's really, you know, wonderful. And other times you have moments that, you know, someone will pick up on something they didn't like about you, or something you did in your personal life, and you know, they want to crush you like a cockroach, you know. And then you've got other things where you've got enormous shows that you've done in different parts of the world, and then you've played shows when, you know, you had you know, 2 or 3 people and their dog came, and you've had everything in between. The highs, I think it's really understanding that it's not all about the highs, it's not all about the lows. It's just being glad you're there, you know. You're in the moment, you're just enjoying what it is for what it is, you know. It's not all high and it's not all low, you know, it's just what it is. I like Bob Dylan's song, Shelter from the Storm. It's one of my favorite as a songwriter. Come in, she said, I'll give you shelter from the storm. There's always someone willing to offer you some shelter from the storm, you know, if you're lucky. And it's knowing when to take that hand of grace and know when to embrace someone's love is a very important thing, you know. And for people who are less fortunate, and you know, people who are incapacitated physically or autistic or mentally handicapped or something like that, you know, some of those people don't even have the skills to know how to ask you to love them, you know, and they need to be loved so much. So if you're healthy and you're normal, you know, just give as much as you can and take what you're given. Probably one of my favorite INXS remixes that we did. I liked the Suicide Blonde one that was done by Paul Oakenfold. That was going back a long time ago now, about 1990, I think. And then before that, a gentleman by the name of Ben Lebrion did a hip-hop remix of a song of ours called Need You Tonight in Paris, and they were playing it in all the nightclubs there. That was really good. That was cool, because it was kind of, at that point in time, very new, you know, really kind of cutting-edge stuff. And so I was amazed, because I was actually in a nightclub, you know, dancing around to this thing, and this song that Michael and I had written, and it was really had this hip-hop undercurrent thing running through it, and I went, wow, you know. But we've been fortunate, you know, we've had very, very many talented, you know, DJs and remix people do renditions of our work. No, I'm just happy to work with INXS and happy to work with the guys. I look forward to do some more songwriting with JD. That's going to be good. I think there's some other artists I really admire, and if I get the opportunity to work with them, that'd be great. I don't go hunting that stuff, and perhaps to my own detriment. You know, from a career point of view, I should probably be a little bit more aggressive about that. But I tend to actually, part of my passion for wanting to write music and to perform it comes from, this is going to sound ironic, comes from also not playing it and not writing. The moments when I'm not writing, I'm not playing, I'm actually are some of my most creative moments, because then I start thinking about music as opposed to performing it, because there's a difference, you know.